to ban. Remaining. Team Liquid's turn to ban. Complexity's turn to ban.
Yeah.
Team Liquid's turn to pick. Remaining.
I'm good whenever you are.
5 seconds.
All right.
Reserve time.
Welcome back, everybody. It is our second series of the day here on this stream. It's going to be Complexity versus Team Liquid, a pretty hype match, if I do say so myself.
Should be pretty fun to watch. Complexity barely squeezing through the wildcard matches. Team Liquid, this is their first match of the tournament, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So should be fun to see how they've adjusted since ESL Manila, where they did have a little bit of issues. And hoping to see some pocket strats from Complexity, fingers crossed.
Yeah, that is always... that last pocket strat with the Axe Wyvern.
It was so cool.
I was actually sitting with No Diggity, and we were kind of talking about it, and it was just like, at first it was like, is this really efficient or not? And then we got to the Ancient stack, and it was like, oh, this really is. This really does work. And it was definitely something that Complexity kind of had to, burn a strat in order to stay alive in the tournament. And it worked, right? They got through, and they're here now in the group stage, trying to keep themselves alive. And any win against Liquid would definitely prove something, right?
Yes, it would. And they're opening up the game in a pretty normal way for them. Darkseer first, and then they can adjust their support depending on what they want to do. Disruptor, a bit of an interesting early pick, not something they played much in the wildcards. And kind of cool to see Earthspirit first picked by a team finally. The hero's been left away a little bit by other teams, but I think the reason they opened it is because they knew that Complexity was going to go Darkseer +1, and this guaranteed that they didn't have to ban it. They can deal with worry about cores and other important heroes, and they're still really good with Earthspirit themselves, so it gives them what they want while also blocking what their opponents want, and they can still play it as well, if not better.
Yeah, it's funny, in this series, I would imagine that Earthspirit is going to be a rather highly contested hero, whereas other teams, other matchups, other series, we're going to see Earthspirit just kind of like left out of the pool almost entirely, right?
Yep.
And this comes down to the nature of both these teams have a really good Earthspirit player.
Disruptor, kind of a cool pick too, because Team Liquid does very often draft Nature's Prophet. So same with Earthspirit, really. Those two heroes are very highly mobile, so you can defensively send them back with Glimpse, or you can also cancel those escapes with those skills. So banning out Spectre, a pretty safe ganking and teamfight hero as well, especially with Nature's Prophet. Like, if you already have that global TP, and Spectre can also globally TP, then that means all the Earthspirit has to do is set up a kill somewhere, and Spectre will get a kill or an assist at least. So they'll have to play a more standard core, and the movement will be a lot easier to track for Complexity.
We're going to see the Drow Ranger banned away by Liquid. I want to get chance cheese by the Drow Ranger strats. They're going to be running a little luck in this tournament.
That I really would have been surprised about a Drow, though, because if you go for a Drow strat, then you're doing almost all range heroes, and then Darkseer loses a lot of its mid-game efficiency. Like, I really feel like that hero just combos so much better with like a melee core that's fairly strong early, or even like a Gyrocopter, because, I mean, maybe that would have been their solution, pick Gyro instead, but that doesn't really work because you have Gyro and Drow. It's a bit iffy. But something that Darkseer combos with in either the laning stage or the mid-game from a core is a little bit more straightforward, I think. So I'm a little surprised about the Drow pick.
They do ban away the Axe. You were talking about combo heroes with the Darkseer. Well, Axe is definitely one of them, right? There's still plenty of others they could run, say, like a Sven carry or something like that. Pretty normal stuff. While the Invoker taken out of the hands of Fada, probably one of the better Invokers here at this tournament.
So the whole Axe ban, I'm sure, is a result of the pocket strat. I assume you can make that work with pretty much any range support. Like, the Winter Wyvern was the perfect synergy with it, because you can Ancient a little easier, but considering how fast he got his Vanguard, I think you could honestly make that work with just about any other support.
Yeah.
So I think they're definitely going with the right thing here. Just do the safe ban on the Axe rather than trying to limit his jungle with wards and crep. Like, just easier to get the hero out of there, especially because it was like they were so refined on the strat, they executed it perfectly, and it works really well for what they normally do. So I'm totally down to get the Axe banned out there. So Complexity gets to go first here. They have basically very little revealed by Team Liquid, really, except for the fact that there's Nature's Prophet. There's not really any hero that specifically is amazing versus Earth Spirit, or you don't really need to counter him that hard in that way, other than maybe like defensive mid against the roam, I would say.
Right.
So I think their draft can really go anywhere right here. They can grab a straightforward carry. Gyrocopter might be all right. Something Complexity runs sometimes. Good with Darkseer, good against Nature's Prophet Treants. Does get ganked quite a bit. I would say Earth Spirit's pretty decent versus Gyro in the early mid game.
What about a combo here with the Darkseer? The Earth Spirit may have been taken away from them, but they can still run something, say, like the Night Stalker, who's pretty adept at hunting down Nature's Prophets.
Yeah,
right?
That's a good point. Pretty good against Earth Spirit as well, really. You can catch his Rolling Boulder in 2 ways. Yeah, I think Night Stalker is definitely a possibility. I haven't picked it, but I did see a team ban it against them during the wildcard stage, so could be one of their heroes that they've been practicing. Yeah, I definitely like that idea a lot. The Iron Shell on that in the 4 to 8 minute period is really scary for their opponents.
What do you think about the what game was that? Where it was No Diggity. Remember they ran a Night Stalker and they ran it 4 position. Despite having a Darkseer, they put it full-time jungle with the Iron Talent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what did you think of that?
It seems pretty good. Ooh, cool pick here. I've seen some other teams do that as well, just because you can hit like level 5 by 4 minutes or so, or like level 4 minimum by 4 minutes. It's really efficient. The only problem is that it's very predictable then. Right. And I can't remember what team ran it. I think it was maybe one of the Russian teams, but it was like the opponents just completely reacted. They played against Liquid, actually. It might have been an Empire game or maybe Team Spirit or something. I'm not sure, but they just predicted where all the ganks were going to be. The Winter Wyvern sat mid to protect against the Night Stalker, who's surely going to gank there, and then the Night Stalker went somewhere else, and he predicted that one, and then it was like, okay, that was a little bit too obvious, like what he was going to do. AFK jungle into the 4 to 8 minute ganks, and then it minimized the ganks, and then it was like, well, now your Night Stalker sucks now.
Yeah. Okay, so this is actually something Blitz and I talked about quite a bit. We saw Darkseer on both sides of the matchup in our previous series, and we concluded that Juggernaut is really the best way to be able to, he's like the best carry in order to deal with the aggressive like Darkseer dual lanes, right?
Yeah.
Because you aren't then at that point in time locked down, right? If you had an aggro dual lane and you're saying you're running this Earth Spirit, you want him to be able to roam around and do what he wants. He doesn't want to have to sit there and have to deal with the Darkseer lane, right?
Yeah, you're totally right. And the other carry would probably just die to it, basically. Darkseer plus another chasing melee hero. It would be tough. But he can just spin, be immune for 5 seconds while doing tons of damage. He can healing ward himself. He can clear creep waves if they're pushing under his tower just by spinning. It's definitely a really good solution to the Darkseer. Maybe they should have banned that over their other heroes, but with that said, Juggernaut doesn't do as much in team fights as Invoker and Spectre do, so maybe they're a bit worried about the team that will come after the laning stage. But with the Ricky pick, I'm sure you guys have been waiting for us to like talk about it, but
yeah,
it's an invis hero. It's kind of like Bounty Hunter. It can do a lot. I'm sure Z-Freak's going to play. He usually plays that roaming style, and he can basically just stand invis and chase you down endlessly, not to mention good backstab damage. The Smoke Cloud is really good. It's a good solution against Jug, actually. If you can like Smoke Cloud as you approach with Ion Shells, then you can actually get a lot more damage out on him than he would expect. But with that said, their physical damage output's pretty weak. I don't see... They're also pretty weak to burst with Disruptor Ricky right now. I guess Dragonite solves some of those problems. And there's another synergy with Darkseer there. Ion Shell Surge on him in the mid-game is... And by mid-game, I mean like 10 minutes. If he's got like Tread's Wand Bottle with Ion Shell, he is a scary hero. So that's a pretty cool draft from Complexity.
Have you experienced the Riki in your pubs?
No, nobody's played it in my pubs. I haven't played that many solos, but...
Yeah, I thought maybe it was an NA thing because I've experienced it a lot in Europe. Pretty much like I'm seeing these Rikis pick it up, and I'll pick when the Bounty Hunter gets banned. I can't get my hands on the Bounty Hunter, I'll just do the Riki, right? And Riki doesn't do like most things as well as the Bounty Hunter, but he does do some things that are a little bit more different, right? The fact that he can jump out with his ultimate and like cause some chaos there, it's hard to be able to lock him down. The silence that he is able to provide is obviously quite powerful, and as you said, it feels like just kind of one of those invis heroes that's rather disruptive, and obviously paired up with the Darkseer, it's going to be tough for any support to deal with that, and we still don't know what Liquid's going to be running that in the bottom lane, because they decided to fourth pick up a Viper against that Dragonite.
Yeah, so roaming on Viper is going to be a little bit tougher now for Ricky because he's going to be slowed himself. Ricky very slow himself. Ricky plus Dragonite killing Viper could work, but if he gets like 2, maybe 3 corrosive skins, I feel like their attack speed is just going to be too lowered here. It might be hard for him to die, especially once he gets like Aquila, Buckler. I just don't see him dying to that dual lane.
Yeah.
Unless we see like an Iron Shell onto Ricky, TP's mid kind of a gank. Like that's maybe the only way Viper is going to be killed. So Team Liquid's draft is very, very strong 5-man right now. Really strong. They're going to be online very rapidly in this game, either mech on Prophet or Viper. And then if they get gold advantage with a couple sentries down, it's going to be very tough for Complexity to fight. And that's another downside of Ricky. He doesn't have much burst damage compared to Bounty Hunter, who can just track 3 people, throw Shuriken, and do like, boom, 1,200 damage or something like that. Ricky is all physical based pretty much, and his team fight contribution is a lot harder.
I was thinking more like a lion for the lines of Liquid. Didn't really expect this
Kind of like
Crystal
this.
Maiden.
It gives them more early game push possibility. If the Lion's there, yeah, he's got more disable, yeah, he's got more burst damage, but CM has pretty good nuke, about the same disable if they don't have BKBs and stuff like that. So better early game. And then the Mana Aura, like look at Mana Aura on Jug, Viper, Prophet, or Spirit. None of these guys have to buy like Arcane Boots now. If he just gets like 3 points in Aura or 2 points in Aura with like an Aquila, they're going to 5-man so much better. And I like Frostbite a lot against Darkseer and Surge. So like that very low cooldown, easy to land, fairly spammable disable is going to mean that Ricky, Dragonite, Darkseer are not as mobile as they would have been normally. So I kind of like it here. The team fight, it's clearly better than Complexities, right? Like Disruptor's ulti is great, Vacuum is awesome, but barring those 2 spells, they have so much more damage output and sustain.
And a Brewmaster. Last pick here for Complexity. That is definitely not what I expected, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We had some sort of safe lane carry. I figured we were going to see something a bit more traditional. Brewmaster, big team fight hero. Does this address a little bit what you were talking about, perhaps? That Liquid did have the stronger opportunities, so Complexity shore up in that defense?
Yeah, this hero is not punishable at all by Liquid in the early game, with the exception of Earth Spirit, basically with stun and silence. Like Crystal Maiden can't do anything against Brew. They don't have a silence until they get an Orchid other than the Earth Spirit. So if Jarex is a little underleveled, I feel like Brewmaster always gets his ult off, and that'll give them a little bit more team fight that they were missing before. Juggernaut as well isn't very good against Brew. Omni Slash is going to be semi-ineffective. He can always ulti while it happens, kind of a thing. So I like the Brewmaster. I'm still a little unsure about Complexity's damage in team fights. That's really where they're lacking here. But he can Iron Shell Brew splits as well, so that's a lot of damage. Just plus the damage on the Brewmaster got buffed a little bit, and Limp's arguably one of their most mechanically talented players. So if you can cycle the Windwalks very effectively, I'm seeing a lot of damage coming out of them. So if they put everything on like, I don't know, Prophet or Viper, I could see their fights going really well. If Jug is able to tank the damage and gets an Omni Slash off afterwards, then maybe it's not so good for them. But it'll be cool to see these guys clash in the mid game. What about lanes though? Who do you think has a better laning stage?
I mean, I'm naturally going to lean towards the team that has Juggernaut and Viper, I think. Just because Viper is automatically going to win the lane in some ways. But the Dragonite matchup, ever since the change of breed fire, where they added damage reduction in the first place, and then now they even buffed it so it's 35% every single time, he has kind of always been a hero that he'll do all right in the laning phase. You know, he'll always kind of get his farm, and it's kind of that's just made even more solidified by that damage reduction.
Yeah, that part definitely will matter. I'm more looking at Iron Shell, I guess, is really just providing so much in the lane stage. Not to mention, it kind of comes down to what Z-Freak can do. And a lot of times Complexity actually sacrifices their offlane a little bit. They'll send Sundamones into the jungle really rapidly and then give Z-Freak the lane. And this is literally what they pick every single game. They give Z-Freak a roaming 4-position hero that can sap experience in the offlane while Swindle's jungles. And he jungles really fast. He knows how to do this perfectly. He must do it all the time. And then they have good team fight in their other lanes. And yeah, they get to the mid game with more experience than their opponents usually have. So it'll be cool to see him do something similar. He's going to start Orb of Venom and a Tango on his Ricky. Plus he can ward amazingly because nobody's going to be able to stop this.
Yeah.
Better than Bounty, doesn't need Clarity Potions. And I think he takes 2 hits to kill a courier. But a lot of things Ricky does better, and a couple of things that Ricky definitely does worse. But he can transition to a carry better. If he has a great game, fast Diffusal Blade means he solo kills tons of heroes on Liquid.
Yeah, he has a lot more longevity when it comes to being a viable, like, damage outputting hero.
Yeah.
The Bounty Hunter just kind of was like, okay, all right, guys, I gave us the mid-game advantage by giving everyone 10,000 gold with track kills, but you know, after that point in time, you get your utility items on a bounty hunter, what are you really going to be doing?
Yeah, especially because of all the utility items that they buy recently. I just feel like I haven't seen a lot of bounties get past like the mech arcanes into Aetherlens, maybe a force, but bounties I never really seem to get 6 slotted lately. I don't know if that's probably just because teams get better against playing against it. They die less to it. Yeah, that kind of a thing. They don't feed as many kills. They know that he's going to be roaming, so his early game isn't ever as good as it used to be.
I think another part of it is once you get to like 30 minutes, you start playing a role where you're actively trying to scout and get information, right? And that naturally has its risks, right?
Yep, and less kills then as well, so vision, warding, that kind of a thing. But Ricky can be kind of explosive, so I can't wait to see how this goes. The last time I saw Complexity play this hero was actually in Captain's Draft. They ended up playing him on Z-Freak, and he kind of played more of like a carry role. The lanes were weird. Yeah. So excited to see more Ricky games in the pro scene. Yeah. It's been banned more than it's been picked, I think. That's for sure.
The hero has definitely gotten a whole lot more annoying. Every single time I'm like, haha, dusted you. I'm going after you now. And he's just like tricks of the trade. He disappears for a while. I'm just like, oh,
yeah, he's invulnerable for like what 4 seconds, 4 to 6 seconds basically, and then afterwards, as soon as that ends, he blink strikes away, and you're like, that was my kill.
Yeah.
That can be kind of fun.
What about the Brewmaster?
What about the Brewmaster?
They're definitely running Brewmaster safe lane farming, right? So
really,
are they? I don't know.
Stout Shield, 2 shared tangos. I would guess it looks like. I mean, Chessie has basically safe lane items, right? Stout Shield, Salve, Tango.
Yeah.
I kind of like that versus Prophet, I guess, because it's kind of a cool solution to Prophet in some ways. Because normally DK you put him mid, but this way you put him safe lane. He's gonna have tons of armor, tons of regen. He's got a Stout Shield. He's gonna be able to just take the Prophet hits for a lot longer than almost all carries could normally. So this could free up the Disruptor to rotate more.
Yeah, that's true. And then Brewmaster, I'm presuming if he's mid, he's got to go that Drunken Haze build, right?
Yeah, he's got to get at least 1 early, because otherwise Viper is just going to easily beat him in lane.
Right.
Like a 2-1-1 build into max clap. How Brewmaster's mana pool is now since Int got reduced a bit. See if he has any mana problems this game.
Well, I mean, they still increased the base mana pool, right?
Oh, that's right. They did increase it by 50. So he actually probably has more then, because he lost a total of 14 mana. Yeah, he actually does have more mana now. Really good point. Really low int heroes have more mana than they did before. I always forget about that 50+.
Yeah, Chaos Knight, Brewmaster, those kind of heroes, they're pretty happy.
Who used to have the worst mana pool? I remember Sven was terrible. Jug's looking pretty bad, 218 here. Crystal Maiden. This is a net buff for CM here. She actually does have way more mana. She has way more.
Funny how her stats are so awful. 16, 16, 16, 280 movement speed, 1 armor.
That's 1.3 actually.
Excuse me. 1.3 armor.
Gotta check the breakdown there.
I mean, that is terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But I think she's actually in a pretty good place now. Like that level 4 Arcane Aura, man. 8 mana for yourself per second.
Come on.
That's a Bloodstone. I mean, it doesn't solve all of her problems, but Nova's a lot better too, level 4. You've got 50% uptime on that slow. That's like a Shiva's Guard practically. 9-second cooldown on that.
But what are you using all that extra mana for? On yourself.
Fighting all the time, pushing, casting. You're not limited. You can be bad and throw crappy spells like me that are less efficient. And
did she have mana problems before when she had...
She definitely... Come on, she did.
I felt like once you had the double aura, like the double aura on yourself and you had like mana regen to like level 3... It was more of a question of mana pool sometimes, just because freezing field was so expensive.
Definitely more mana pool than regen over time, but it still makes a big difference in my opinion. Because once you use your ulti, even if you have the mana pool, you're out. You're completely out. Yeah. So having that high level really lets you cycle into your abilities more. The right way to play CM right now, rotate your spells back out, rotate your spells back out. You can do that repeatedly. You help your team a lot during fights, and occasionally you'll commit to the ult. It's going to be a hard one for that, though. With Brewmaster in, Dragonite, Ricky, even Disruptor, like her ultimate getting used is very unlikely. The CM looked good, but that Brewmaster pick, I think there's just a little bit too much stuff going on that's going to mess up her ult.
Yeah, I mean, I would be terrified to play the Crystal Maiden against this Riki. You're already so slow. You're going to stay in that smoke screen for a long time, and then that Orb of Venom just going to make things even worse. It looks like Riki was kind of looking at the mid lane, seeing if there was an early courier that was going to be running out. Not the case, so he's going to go top.
I like this.
Put some pressure on mind control.
Often do you expect the roaming hero to be off lane right at the start? It's very rare. He gets a lot done. He's going to take a couple tower hits that kind of cost him a lot, but salve worth of HP from Mind Controller, and they broke us, and they broke Click Potions. So.
Oh, what?
Okay, that was on you, totally, not me. Totally on you. They used Frostbite because Crystal Maiden is an amazing hero, and a Rolling Boulder on top of that with a spin. That's actually a lot of level 1 damage. Frostbite 150 damage, Rolling Boulder does like 100. That's like 3 really high level 1 nukes. Super big kill on Darkseer, and he doesn't get level 2 out of that.
That is, I think Swindles. You know, I was praising him at Shanghai, I think, because I felt like his rotation of roles from mid to offlane, like I felt like offlane suited him so much better. But I do think he gives away some early kills as an offlaner that.
I could agree with that. I totally agree. Oh, no! Mind Control spotted that one out. They didn't even have a ward set up or anything. They just saw it go to mid.
Yeah.
Limp definitely needed to move that around in a different way. That's such a big snipe. That first blood plus that, I mean, all the supports have like free boots now. Yeah, Crystal Maiden's got boots at 147 just for getting 1 assist. That's it.
That's crazy.
So that's huge advantage. And now he's actually somehow faster than Ricky Mar, one of the other worst movement speed heroes in the game.
So Z-Freak's going to have a really tough time actually finding openings. We'll get the Bounty Rune, getting his level 2. Actually goes for the smoke screen over Blink Strike for now.
That's good. Better chase, really. It's 25% slow, so better solution here. Darkseer does the typical thing, goes to the jungle after forcing the supports to be in lane a little bit. I mean, it is bad that he died, but at the very least he did force JerAx to be there a little bit longer than normal.
Yeah.
Okay, the other couriers now died. Where was that?
All right.
Ricky,
I'm not sure where Blitz's
hockey is.
Yeah,
I don't have spectator. My spectator hockey's override my courier one, so
lost.
We suck. I have no idea how that
way.
I have no idea.
All right.
They have like all melee heroes.
Now we're actually seeing the full dual lane that we expected a while back. Both of these heroes are level 3, so they've got the level 2 Ion Shell. They've got Riki, who actually went for another level of Cloak and Dagger rather than Blink Strike still. Middle lane, middle ties, Brewmaster. Rotation from JerAx and Mind Control.
Got a little scary there for Earth Spirit. Slightly surprised he got so low, but they can still kill Brew. As long as especially if he doesn't have mana, it looks like he did run out there. He's got a Drunken Haze the Viper or he dies no matter what. There's a chase on Kuroki though.
Yeah, they're trying to catch up to him. Z-Freak not throwing out the smoke screen just yet. Swindle's not really able to help him. Is going to go for the hard camp pull. Roll in is going to land in directly onto Z-Freak. Smoke screen goes down. He's just going to have to juke through the trees while the dust is on him, but that's not going to happen. Gets kicked over to the side and beaten to death by JerAx.
He's so slow. And there's not a whole lot he can do about that. He can't even cast spells to remove the dust slow. He's just permanently slow. Definitely one of the nicest counters. 20% slow from Dust of Appearance. Like, how does he get away from that? He's already so slow. He's just a little tiny guy, you know? You walk slower when your legs are short. Just everybody knows that. Tough getting killed there. Maybe they should Ion Shelled him though. I mean, maybe they can get a kill, but Swindles usually focuses a little bit more on the lane than he does about getting kills.
Yeah.
It's mostly the better way to do it, but times like that, Z-Freak just kind of dies.
Our mid matchup is still going pretty well for the Brewmaster. Seems as we talked about, the 2-1-1 build working out for him here, and does have a double damage, so CS should continue to be rather easy for him. Safe lane farming way, Chessie, Dragon Knight. Not going to be quite the same impact as a Juggernaut, free farming as well, but we will definitely see a rather large mid-game push, I'm presuming, from Complexity by both the Brewmaster and the DK. And that's where we'll really see the Complexity draft and their strategy come into full play. Because early on, like the Riki, it's kind of interesting, the roaming and stuff, but I think the main part of this strategy is definitely more on this DK push.
Well, they could potentially go on Fodder here. If he can... Oh, he's got a DD as well. This is it.
Yeah, they're going to jump in, slow him down long enough to be able to hit the clap. They're going to get some more double damage in, and an easy kill there to help a Hanskin. coL actually coming in. I'm not sure if coL wants to be here or not. They get the glimpse back onto Mind Control. The pick lands on Limp, lands on Z-Freak in the back as well. Limp barely escaping there as the evasion goes off, and JerAx is going to be silenced up, unable to roll in to finish off Limp.
Dude, that miss. That was such a low chance. It was like 10%. I don't think it would have killed him because it was a CM, I believe. Or no, it was a Prophet. I can't remember.
No, it was Crystal Maiden.
Yeah, it was a CM hit. So I think JerAx might have gone for that, but kind of greedy. If he would have had to land like the ranged rolling boulder, and would have been tough. But a huge little play there. The DD helped a lot. Otherwise, they wouldn't have killed the Viper as rapidly, and somebody would have died in response.
Yeah. Good lord, her damage is low.
It's quite bad. Almost as bad as Ricky's. He's about the same, actually.
Yeah. Ricky's at least got that agility damage.
Yeah. Pretty big difference there. And Brewmaster's almost 6 now, so they could actually just do the same gank again. Maybe. Viper's getting pretty tanky now. Oh, he's also picked up an infused raindrop. Cool choice here. Not something you would think that he would need. Haste Rune now on Z-Freak. He might get a solo kill.
Yeah, he baits Jerix in pretty deep for that one. Jerix is just looking for the rollout, but if Z-Freak plays this correctly, nice kickback. That's going to be able to create the space for Jerix to be able to get away until Limp says, how you doing? I've got the clap. Free kill from me.
That was so sick. I don't know, I've never seen somebody do that before, but it's so obvious. Like, push them away from you, then do the rolling boulder. Really well done. Maybe they'll get mind control. Oh, this is a great dive too, because Limp's got ult.
Yeah, they're going to be able to easily jump onto the Furion here. Limp trying to catch up. Mind control just a little bit too speedy with the phase boots. Hanskin almost dies to the tower. What they don't realize is that coL is actually still sitting on the side trees. So they miss out on a potential kill there. Juggernaut, I'm presuming that's just an Omni/kill on Swindles.
It really is. The dead Darks here. 2 deaths on him now, but he is 6, so he's getting a lot out of his lane. And a lot of last hits, actually. 30 for him. All those net worths quite a bit lower than some of his allies, but he is ahead of Prophet. Mind Control playing pretty safe here, but he's kind of just fully dished his lane, and this has given Dragonite kind of a full free farm lane with no support help. I think it seems like the Disruptor has been focused a little bit more on pulling in and moving around the map a bit. Can't wait to see this infused raindrop in action for Fada, though, because if there is a melee hero, you're going to be throwing a lot of poison attacks. And normally that isn't a big deal, but against a melee tanky hero, you need to throw that skill a lot. And he would burn through his mana very rapidly. And that on top of Corrosive Skin means he's actually much harder to gank. So I like the choice. It's very cool.
You know how the magic damage block applies? Is it before magic resistance or after?
I actually have no idea. That's a really good question, though, because if it's after, it's going to be super value then.
Yeah.
It would block a very large percentage of a regular magic nuke. Possibly a dive. Oh, the fast Vanguard on Jug. I actually love that some teams are doing this now. I actually like the Vanguard build more than the Drum one in a lot of carries. Like, Drum just doesn't do that much for edgy carries. It gives you 3 agility, 6 strength, 9 int. It's great for the int, but it's really bad for the survivability. It's great for the movement speed and the attack speed, but that's about it. And instead with Vanguard, you can just run under towers. It doesn't matter. You've got a whole 250 more HP to work with. And especially against the Darkseer, he's taking tons of damage. Now he doesn't have to healing ward. He's got a Vanguard. And at a minimum, this is great.
Roll in. Going to be able to get the silence on the Swindles. He's going to be run down by this spin. Jerix still taking a bit of damage from that Ion Shell, but there's no opportunity for a turnaround mid lane. Now they're going to go on to Limp here. Liquid trying to get 2 different kills, forcing out at least the Brewmaster ultimate. But now Fada's going to find himself in some trouble as all of a sudden Z-Freak appears out of nowhere. Is going to be able to get the Smoke Spring, stalling up Fada's retreat while they get the Crystal Maiden into the Tornado for as long as possible. Fada almost dead. The Infused Raindrop has helped keeping him alive. Z-Freak is going to have to back away from the tower, and so will Limp.
Oh, the rotate.
Still, Chessie catches him from behind, and now he's going to be able to get the stun onto coL. Nice kick in. Is going to be able to hit Hanskin in the background too, but more TP's in from Liquid. They're going to send back Matumba Man, but he gets off the spin first, denying that opportunity for the glimpse, and will claim the kill on Chessie.
Great rotation from Jug here. It looked really solid for complexity, but Brewmaster Limp, he missed micro just a little bit. Fight bot Rune.
Yeah, they're trying to get the kill on Hanskin, and okay, he almost didn't because of that miss uphill, but
did that actually miss? It looked like lag or something.
And I think the tree, because I saw the miss pop up.
Okay, so the trance must have gotten him.
Yeah.
Okay. Good little fight, though. Yeah, the Brewmaster played a little bit poorly there in his micro. He actually can windwalk 2 to 3 times on the Wind Panda, and it does like 3 times more damage than it did before. So he could have killed the Viper there if he kept doing the invis attack. Very important that you do that when you're playing Brewmaster now.
Complexity wanting to make sure that they keep this Tier 1 tower alive, but they may not have a choice. We'll see without a Brewmaster ultimate. That Dragonite ult too got some pretty long cooldowns. And yeah, it looks like they're just going to have to give this one up. Z-Freak throws out the smoke screen, but not going to be enough. Liquid, the first mid-Tier 1.
Yeah, they can't really fight until they have Brew ulti again, so that was very smart of Liquid just to say, all right, we're going to rotate heroes in. We're going to get some kills defensively. There's no reason not to push because we're already here. And boom, they take the tower. The map is opened up.
Presuming a fast Blink Dagger still for the Brewmaster. Fortunately, he doesn't have it yet. It would be nice to make use of this DD on some sort of gank attempt, but
he's got to get on top of them first, and he needs 400 gold to do that for the Blink Dagger. So
yeah.
sure he'd love to, but it's not quite set up. Disruptor almost 6 with the Experience Tome here. Love to see him do a little pull. He may just wait for the creep wave push in, though.
Bottom lane. Jesse and Z-Freak as a duo trying to push out this lane. I see an invasion into the jungle by Z-Freak scouting things out. Not really going to get much information. Liquid do have kind of an idea, and it looks like this scan is actually still going to work out. Ooh, he ran into it for a second there. Jerix drops the counter ward, but it's a bit too late. It's on the right-hand side. Z-Freak moved left.
All right. He's got Tranquil Boots now, 6 on Riki. Teamfight Disable's decent. Smoke Cloud plus he's going to be able to apply Orb of Venom to everybody. But I'm not really feeling tons of value from his hero just yet.
Yeah.
Drum is up on Nature's Prophet. Much better on Int heroes here. He could get somebody to rotate, but they're pretty far. Chessie's just got Armlet, no Blink on him. Blink Dagger is up on Limp, though. He's just splitting experience, I guess. He's going to give Prophet a little bit less. Take a little bit for himself.
Some of the team is coming over, but Mind Control's phase boots should always give him the movement speed to stay ahead of them.
Yeah, they have a ward there, so
yeah, that's
very clear. It's actually kind of...
Oh, they may still catch Mind Control as the smoke came across. Hanskin and Swindles were able to come in for that one. Looks like they should be able to get Mind Control here, but they're also trying to retreat at the same time. They've got this nice area where they can get a really good static storm to potentially win this fight. They throw it out now, but Liquid are already winning the fight. Looks like they managed to get the Furion, yes, but Chessie is in too deep, and now Limp is going to be caught as well. Limp has to pop his ultimate, will be able to get off barely in time. Z-Free couldn't complete his TP. Swindle's being run down by coL of all people, who's going to drop the ultimate now. Swindle's not going to make it out, it looks like, and neither is Hanskin as the kit comes in, stopping his TP out, and that just leaves good old Pandaren Brewmaster. Limp will be able to blink over to the side and does successfully TP out. But still, that was a 1-for-4 exchange to the favor of Liquid. 11-4, they are taking a huge lead now.
I guarantee the damage is all Ursprint, and it is 1580 there for Jerix. He got the ult off to start, and then all of a sudden it was on everybody. He had a great initiation too. He forced Riki to use his ultimate in a position where he didn't want to. He got focused too much early. He has to ult. It doesn't even hit anybody. It was just entirely defensive. So right off the bat, your low damage from having a Riki is further made worse. Brewmaster has to ult semi-defensively. Dragon Knight got focused down due to magic nukes, and I didn't even see where Disruptor used his ultimate, but a really bad fight for them.
That fight was won without Omni Slash, and you're going to see it used now on Swindles. And that'll also probably be a tier 1 complexity. Don't have the ultimates again to respond. Somehow Liquid just keep on winning fights with these ults being used by complexity, and then are able to freely take towers at will.
So it's kind of looking like, based off of this set and the previous one with OG, it's like it's very much about tankiness this patch here. They're gonna go on Chessie bot though.
Chessie slowed down, trying to use that armlet to keep himself alive, but the static storm isn't really going to give him enough space. Chessie might be able to help get the kill on the Earth Spirit, but is eventually going to go down here. coL's going to be next potentially. The ultimate goes out from the Riki, but not enough damage. Does slow down Fada. He needs an opportunity to be able to jump away. Unfortunately, his Blink Strike on cooldown, so he just throws a last-minute smoke screen, and Limp will jump back in, but unable to get the frost right now. The ultimate drop, freezing field, and Limp goes down. coL with the turnaround double kill.
Oh man, he is wrecking right now. That was such a sick play, but very overly greedy from Brewmaster there to think he could get that pick off. Fast Frostbite from Crystal Maiden and the ultimate.
And look at Matsu. Hey, you think he cares about you, Swindles? He does not.
He honestly doesn't. With Vanguard, Yasha, Aquila, like he can actually just tank this damage. It's not a big deal. All right, maybe now.
Yeah.
He's gotta be a little scared.
Spin TP out, and away he goes.
It's just so survivable. For 2,000 gold. Like, tankiness that we're seeing this tournament, especially the last day now, has just been incredible. Like the 5-man pushing that OG did so perfectly. With even they changed the strats up, but it was the same principle. Armlet on heroes like Dragon Knight or other strength heroes. They push towers and they stay alive. It kind of reminds me of TI4 finals a little bit. Luckily, we're not there yet.
Yeah,
but I'm a little worried right now. The trend is there.
Roll in and a kick onto Chessie. They've already brought him pretty damn low. And Limp is going to try and provide some interference going on to Jerix. Good armlet toggle from Chessie, but I doubt he's going to be able to do that much more. The mech comes out from Swindle, but it's still not enough to be able to save his ally. Yes, he goes down.
And with all that said, the Earth Spirit is such a good solution. Limp goes in, though.
And he tries to jump on a mind control. Oh, no, that Sprout actually locks him directly against Z-Freak, who will happily take all the free hits he can get. He has been dusted up, but Matu's actually just trying to get out of this fight, knowing it's bad. He's going to leave his support behind. Jerix is going to be healed up, and maybe the healing ward might be able to keep him alive until the glimpse back puts him in place. Now Fada is right in the middle. Two different supports. They are going to be able to get the glimpse away from Hanskin. And the rest of Complexity actually retreat pretty well. So Liquid this time around, they're the ones who lose the fight, trading the Dragonite for their Furion and Earth Spirit.
He armor toggled so well. He got like 3 out of it. Kept him alive for a long time, and then his team wins the fight as a result. So really well played by him. But with all that said about the armor stuff, the Earth Spirit just is such a good solution. He hit 6 so early on this game that his Magnetize basically killed all of the advantage that Dragonite was going to have in those early fights because they just had so much damage output. Not to mention the damage over time that lets you burst through the armlet toggling a little bit. So it's looking like that is kind of the solution. Magic nukes are still very important in this meta. But the next hard part is winning those fights before their opponents get BKBs, because then that's going to counter that strat. So there's this like weird delicate balance going on with drafting right now, where you have to be able to beat Dragonites and things like Huskar or Bristlebacks.
Speaking of tank, you're going to see Viper tank it up even more. He'll get the Dragonlance now.
That's a good build on him. I like it. It's a lot better than it used to be, stat-wise.
Yeah.
And what, 15 strength, 15 agility, whereas before it was just like strength and attack speed and damage. That's it.
Yeah.
So they're going to sit in the area of the Roche here. I don't know if these other 2 guys got in here by smoke, but these 3 supports can like almost kill 4 heroes by themselves. They take a fight well.
Complexity doing nothing but split pushing. Limp trying to keep the mid lane in. Z-Freak had some opportunity to push out the top lane. He's almost got a Diffusal Blade. I think that'll really change too much for him, though.
Well, he could solo kill CM at least. That'll be a good thing to do. But CM has a 17 charge wand, bracer, cloak. She's actually quite survivable. It may require Ricky +1 to kill anybody. And even then, he's still so low on HP. It's definitely one of the biggest weaknesses of Ricky. Always going to be weak to burst.
Garrick sitting on the side here. Has the opportunity to initiate, but these are 2 of the tankier heroes and doesn't want to do it alone.
It's definitely tough right now. So they're pushing mid instead. They were hoping for a freebie kill to guarantee their push. Z-Freak, will he get spotted? He does get spotted.
And he's going to be run down. It looks like Matu is actually going to go down as this Aegis is away, but nice control. Mind control actually managed to get the Treant combo surrounding the hero and easily enabling the kill onto Swindles. And it looks like they may still both survive, as the healing ward is keeping them relatively healthy. Mind control goes to the Sprout. And now trying to get a TP out in 3 more seconds farther up. They do get the kill on the Dragonite with the help of Crystal Maiden, Jerix, and Fada's Viper. Into the fight on both occasions, Liquid come out on top.
That was huge that they were able to get those 2 kills, and they didn't get anybody in return. It looked like Mind Control would die, but with the drum in the phase, he was able to run fast, drop the Sprout behind him, and they don't get him. And I wonder as well, if Jug didn't have Vanguard, would he have lived twice there? And I feel like the answer is he would have died, most likely. If he's stunned in position, Vanguard is an extra 500 HP with Aegis, and now they're going high ground because they won that fight.
Might as well. Win a fight right outside the enemy's base to do some chip damage and see if Complexity want to get into this one. They get the vacuum. Not much there. 2-man clap, but Limp immediately retreats despite having Ion Shell on him because he doesn't have the ultimate now. The Riki's going to jump in, trying to get some more damage on Fada, but they do get really good interception. Now the turnaround. Jarrek's already set that up, and now the team is going to start swarming forward. Freezing Field being dropped. Chessie can't really put a stop to that one. He's taking too much damage. He'll end up going down as Liquid claim 2, going for a 3rd now. As Limp on the left-hand side will end up being right-click down, and Complexity call it just like that before the 20-minute marker even.
Yeah, it was a little early here, but I think it was pretty straightforward how this game was going to go. Like, Liquid just won the laning stage very handily. Complexity did not win those early fights like they needed to, despite having Dragonite, Disruptor, Darkseer. Their early game went okay, but not amazing, and the rookie really fell flat. He got some vision roam stuff done, but didn't transition into a core at all, and it wasn't time yet. And Ricky's just, I think, a little bit too slow in this meta that's happening in this tournament. This, 5-man